Hare Krishna. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmelitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hare Krishna. We'll continue our discussion on uh, the seventh chapter. This is a very important chapter. The seed verses we have discussed, where Vyas Maharshi is seeing the Supreme Lord along with, by his meditation, he could see the Supreme Lord along with Maya under his full control. Then he sees the living entity, how they are caught up in this world, and then he understood that Bhakti Yogena Manasi. So for them, the only solution is when they perform Bhakti Yoga. So this is what Vyasa Maharshi could perceive, and Sutta Goswami is explaining that after doing it. So in the 7th verse he says, Yasyam Vaishruyamanayam Krishne Param Purushe Bhakti Rutpatyate Pumsam Shoka Moha Bhayapaha. Simply by giving oral reception to this Vedic literature, the feeling for loving devotional service to Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of God, sprouts up at once to extinguish the fire of lamentation and union and fearfulness. So now he says, now Vyas Maharshi, the great sage, Sa Samhitam Bhagavatam Kritvanukritam Chatmajam. So he had compiled Srimad Bhagavatam and reviving it, taught to his Chatmajam, to his son. Sukham Adhyapayam Asa Nivritta Nitaram Muni, who was engaged in self-realization. Nivritta Nitaram. So he is engaged in the path of self-realization. Now they get a doubt. Are, how come Sukadeva Goswami is already self-realized? Why did he get attracted to it? So that will be the question. We'll see what purpose write about Vyasa Maharshi and here. Srimad Bhagavatam is a natural commentary on Brahma Sutras compiled by the same author. This Brahma Sutra, Vedanta Sutra, is means for those who are already engaged in self-realization. Srimad Bhagavatam is so made that one becomes at once engaged in the path of self-realization simply by hearing the topics. Although it is especially meant for the Paramahamsas or those who are totally engaged in self-realization, it works into the depths of hearts of those who may be worldly men. Worldly men are all engaged in sense gratification. But even such men will find in this Vedic literature a remedial measure for their material diseases. Sukadeva Goswami was a liberated soul from the very beginning of his birth, and his father taught him Srimad Bhagavatam. Amongst mundane scholars, there is some diversity of opinion as to the date of compilation of Srimad Bhagavatam. It is, however, certain from the text of Bhagavatam that it was compiled before the disappearance of King Parikshit and after the departure of Lord Krishna. When Maharaj Parikshit was ruling the world as the king of Bharatavarsha, he chastised the personality of Kali. According to revealed scriptures and astrological calculations, the age of Kali is in its 5,000th year. Therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam was compiled not less than 5,000 years ago. Mahabharata was compiled before Srimad Bhagavatam, and the Puranas were compiled before Mahabharata. That is an estimation of the date of compilation of the different Vedic literatures. The synopsis of Srimad Bhagavatam was given before the detailed description under the instructions of Narada. Srimad Bhagavatam is the science for following the path of Nivritta Marga. The path of Pravritti Marga was condemned by Narada. That path is the natural inclination for all conditioned souls. The theme of Srimad Bhagavatam is the cure of materialistic diseases of human being, or stop completely the pangs of material existence. This is a very important how Srimad Bhagavatam is the natural commentary for Brahma Sutras. This is we have very nicely. So there are the purpose of Vedanta Sutra is to make us understand that the essence of all the Vedic literatures. So now there are so many important themes which are there in Srimad Bhagavatam. So Vedanta Sutra, the first few shlokas of Vedanta Sutra are actually in connection with they are matching with Srimad Bhagavatam first few shlokas. So in that way we have discussed elaborately in the first shloka came how it is connected. Maybe some other time we can elaborate. And then Vyasa Maharshi he was born in the beginning of Mahabharata because he is born to Satyavati. And before the Mahabharata completed, he compiled all the Puranas and he also compiled all the Vedas. By the end of Mahabharata, he became famous as a compiler of all the Puranas and all the Vedas. And then in the end, he completes Mahabharata. And after completion of Mahabharata, he completes Srimad Bhagavatam. So it is within a short time. Short means few hundred years. Within a span of few hundred years, he has completed all the Vedas, Puranas, Upanishads, Mahabharata, and then Srimad Bhagavatam. But it is just from beginning of Mahabharata when he is born till disappearance of Parikshit Maharaj. Everything is completed. And now there are two margs, Pravritti Marg and Nivritti Marg. So this Bhagavatam is the science following the path of Nivritti Marg, not Pravritti. Pravritti Marg is how to enjoy in this material world. Many living entities, it's almost all living entities, want to enjoy in this material world. So there is a process how to enjoy. Even legally we can enjoy in this material world and continue to stay, go to heavenly planets, nicely enjoy. There are many heavenly pleasures in this material world. People who want to continue, they can continue here, but they have to follow the Pravritti Marg, like that. Now, but Bhagavatam is about Nivritti Marg, how to get out of this world, not enjoy in this world. Now there is interesting question. Immediately Saunaka asks, wait a minute. Saunaka vacha save nivritti nitaraha sarvotropekshako nihi kasyava brahm atmarama sambrayasyate. He says, Sri Saunaka asked Suta Goswami, Srila Sukadeva Goswami was already on the path of self-realization, and thus he was pleased with his own self. So why did he take the trouble to undergo the study of such a vast literature? He's already self-realized. So why did he need anything separate? That means for us, we need something from outside. I need to eat because I need to satisfy my tongue. I need to hear something to satisfy ears. I need to smell nice things. I need to have nice temperature and all. All our things are my needs. And especially for our mind, we need so much relations and all these things. Because Atma is not satisfied, we are trying to satisfy the senses. If somebody is self-satisfied, you don't need any external satisfaction. That is the important point. We all need all these things, emotions and pleasures of senses. To the degree the self is not satisfied, to the degree we need all these things. If somebody self is satisfied, he can see body separate from the self. This is body is a mission working on its own and soul, and he is able to see him separate from the body. So he don't get any pleasure from the body and any pleasure from the mind. You don't need only anything. So he can see it separate. Our body and mind is a machine programmed working on its own. Soul is only observing. So somebody gets that realization, don't get anything from that body. So Prabhupada, for the people in general, the highest perfection of life is to cease from material activity and be fixed on the path of self-realization. Those who take pleasure in sense enjoyment are those who are fixed in material bodily welfare work or called karmis. Out of thousands of millions of such karmis, one may become Atmarama by self-realization. Atma means self, Arama means take pleasure. Everyone is searching after the highest pleasure. But the standard of pleasure of one may be different from the standard of another. Therefore, the standard of pleasure enjoyed by karmis is different from that of Atmaramas. Atmaramas are completely indifferent to material enjoyment in every respect. Sudhir Goswami had already attained that stage, and still he was attracted to undergo the trouble of studying the great Bhagavatam literature. This means Srimad Bhagavat is a postgraduate all the studies of Vedic knowledge. So this is a very important understanding. They already got aloof from all these things. Then why they need something extra? They are already satisfied. They already achieved such a great perfection. This is a very famous shloka of Bhagavatam. And this is a shloka where it is converting Sarvam Bhattacharya into a devotee. This is very important understanding that people who have achieved that stage, very important for us. There is a understanding that detachment is highest. No. Presently, there is a difference between these Atmaramas and people who are detached now. Now the detachment is not out of a realization. Now the detachment is out of frustration. There is a difference. Say wife and children are not listening to me. I say I am detached from them, nothing to do with them. You may look, such a detached person, no attachment to wife and children. This is not detachment. This is raga and dvesha only. It is another side of attachment. Why say I am not interested in my family, I'll just do bhakti, go somewhere. And whole life he may not even look at them also, but still it is not detachment. Because it is not coming out of self-realization nor out of bhakti. It is coming out of frustration. Like to get bhakti, first you need to have proper relationship, proper affection, proper love and care. Then you will get then we get the proper detachment. Bhakti is soft-heartedness. It is not hard-heartedness. There is a difference. That's why here in this chapter, the hero will be Draupadi. Draupadi is the hero of this chapter. Why she is hero? Because she is having soft heart, which is actually meant for devotees. Like say now I say, okay, my husband is not practicing, detached, children are detached. So it is because they don't listen, I am detached. It's not like that. We have to be very considerate. We have to accept the person. We should not judge the person. We should be able to show proper, without judging. Forgiving is the most important. If you have this forgiving and affection and care, and then we'll be able to get detachment. So it is not because of frustration. It is out of devotion we get detachment. And here, help of knowledge. See, first we need to use buddhi and then heart. So buddhi should be awakened, understanding the truth, and slowly we should invest heart in Krishna, invest heart in relationship. And proper relationship can help us get out of this. That means heart will become softer, and then a person will be able to develop the same feeling for Krishna, like that. Otherwise, hard-hearted. Then when we chant, heart will not melt because that hatred is there, that envy is there. Heart will not melt. We should give up our envy. We should give up hatred. We should forgive. We should be very affectionate. We should be accepting the person as they are. Then only it will happen. And here, Atmaramas are not people who have rejected out of frustration. No. They have gained sufficient buddhi, analyzed things, and achieved this state. Even that state is also not. That is why at this stage, Atmaramas, they are getting attracted to Krishna. If they do out of frustration, they will not get attracted. This is the so it's very famous shloka. Atmaramascha munayo nirkranta pirukrame kurvanta hituki bhaktim ittam bodha guno harihi. Sutta Goswami said, all different varieties of Atmaramas, those who take pleasure in Atma or spirit self, especially those established in the path of self-realization, though freed from all kinds of material bondage, desire to render unalloyed devotional service unto the personality of Godhead. This means the Lord possesses transcendental qualities and therefore can attract everyone, including liberated souls. So they are not frustrated souls, they are liberated souls. This is a confusion people have. They think I am not attached. You are not attached means you are still that desire for having a love and other things are still there in the heart. It did not go. But Atmaramas, it already went because they are free from vasanas. They are free from the impressions. Here, the frustration is not out of like somebody develop devotion, attachment for Krishna, automatically these things will go away. Or you cultivated buddhi so that this will also go away. This is how it will come. So here, this very nicely, elaborately explained this purport. For this purport, this is explanation you can see in Chaitanya Charitamrita many ways. But this frustration helps us to understand that there is no happiness in this world and we should come closer to Krishna. Yes, yes, that frustration should help us, but it should not make us averse. We have to understand, yes, there is no pleasure, only pleasure in Krishna, but we should forgive the people, we should accept them, we should show still our affection, we should be still soft-hearted. Like somebody behaved very badly and this happens the family, there will be so much better relation, but still we should forgive and always try to be in good side. So Projit, yeah, by sincere practice of bhakti, we will get it. Yes, we will get it. And this is what we have to cultivate. We should know that this is what is we need. This soft-heartedness is what need, not aversion. Yes,
Prabhuji,
yes.
Prabhuji, I have heard in one class of His Grace Chaitanya Charan Prabhu that what is the difference between affection and attachment. So attachment means what? That you have a lot of attachment on bodily platform. You don't have attachment based on spiritual standards. So he's saying that attachment actually is like because we have pride, false ego, and all, and that is why we are too attached. But he's saying we should have affection with people. We should not have attachment, but we should have affection, because when you get attached, then you come into material bondage. And then he said that attachment is the root cause to material bondage. He's saying that we have to be aloof also, but we have to be affectionate also. Like mother is affectionate to children, wife is affectionate to husband, and we are affectionate toward it. But at the same time, we should know that my real relationship is not with them, but my real relationship is Krishna. So he said that in the last, he said that affection will upgrade you and attachment will degrade you, Prabhuji. This is what he had said. The very 2-3 years back, he had given this lecture during lockdown, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Now, very important point is how to apply. Here it is easy. Now, what I am talking here is we have to understand at the level of buddhi that it is what happens is see, without attachment, nothing works in this world. If a woman should look good, children should look innocent, women should be submissive, children should feel dependent, then the father will work hard and maintain them. So the system is created. Without attachment, he will not be able to take care of children. Mothers are not attached to children, they will not be able to take care of them. It's not possible only. The system is created. When we start, like what Chandrika Mata is telling, when we start practicing bhakti, we slowly what happens, we have to be like that only. Slowly that attachment slowly goes away, and only affection remains, and we'll be in a proper state. We should not go in the zone of attachment and aversion, other side of the same coin, both sides. Both are dangerous. Aversion is also dangerous, attachment is also dangerous. Balance. That's what I am trying to tell. We have to, people go in the zone of aversion, people are so much attached. Both are dangerous. We should be in between. Bhakti is balance. That's what I wanted to make a point. Yes, it is true. Attachment, affection, that is a difference. But I am talking about aversion part also, which is also dangerous, which is also not correct. And here you will see Draupadi's part. She is the main character of this chapter. She will come into picture after 2-3 shlokas. But here is also very important shloka, which is proving how Bhagavatam is very special. Even for Atmaramas, even a liberated person who is free from all vasanas, that means there is no impetus for any of the material things. Will see any gulab jamun, he sees any woman, he sees any farm, he sees any diamond, gold, or anything, nothing will inspire him, nothing will affect him. Like Sudhir Goswami, when he was going, some women are bathing, nothing affected him because no impressions only for him. Even such person, he got attracted. That's what. When he heard Vyasa Maharshi, he ran behind his son. Putra, Putra, Putra. Only the tree echoed him. That time, with the same amount of feeling of separation. And Vyasa Maharshi thought, what should I do? Then he sent his disciples, teaching them Bhagavatam shlokas, and said, okay, you recite these shlokas whenever my son, you see my son. They started reciting Bhagavatam shlokas, and that 2 shlokas he got attracted. So, Baraha Pidam, Natavaravapu, Karanayor Karnikaram, Viprat Vasasa Kanakapusham, Vajayanti Chamala, Randran Verodrsude, Aparan Gopunde, Vandavanam Sapadaranam. No, not Baraha Pidam. This is, yeah. And another shloka is Aho Bakiyam Stanakala Kutam Jigansya Padyapaswati Lebe Gatim Dati Richitam Tunduni Kamvadayalam Sharanam. So 2 shlokas, one explaining the beauty of Krishna, one is explaining his compassion of Krishna. When Sukadeva Goswami heard, he got attracted. So it is not material vasanas, because it is spiritual sound vibration, he got attracted. So that is the main point here, because attracted to Krishna, which is transcendental. And we'll complete this purport. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained this Atmanama shloka very vividly before his chief devotee Srila Sanatana Goswami. Points out 11 factors in the shloka, namely Atmarama, Munayaha, Nirkanta, Api, Cha, Urukrama, Pruvanti, Ahitukim, Bhakti, Bhuta Gunaha, and Hari. According to the Vishwa Prakash Sanskrit Dictionary, there are 7 synonyms of the word Atma, and they are as follows: Brahma, the absolute truth; body, mind, endeavor, endurance, intelligence, and personality. I will not take this purport. You can do as a homework because it's a technical detail. The essence I have told, because we have to do other things also. So please do, and there is another big homework you can do in Chaitanya Charitamrita. The what he explained, 64 different meanings of Atmanama. So this is then the example is of 4 Kumaras. They got attracted to the fragrance that is emanating from the lotus, Tulsi's fragrance coming from the lotus feet of Lord. So they were Atmaramas, but they got attracted. That is the point here. So by interpreting each and every word of this shloka, one can see unlimited number of transcendental qualities of Lord Krishna that attract the mind of pure devotees. That is the essence. But you can do the homework. So I'll go for next. This is technical, so that's why I skipped, because I have told the essence, how they don't have material impressions, but still they are getting attracted to spiritual. That is the point. Atma Rama Simone. Hare Guna Chip Tamatir Bhagavan Badarayanaha Adya Manta Akhyana Nityam Vishnu Jana Priyaha. Sukadeva Goswami, son of Srila Vyasdev, was not only transcendently powerful, he was very dear to the devotees of Lord. Thus, he underwent the study of this great narration. Yeah, this chapter is very big. Actually, is almost 50 shlokas are there, and uh, I have only 4 more days to complete because I am going for Vrindavan. So I am somehow trying to. I will share the verses from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Sanatan Goswami's conversation with at Dashashwamedh Ghat, the conversation with Sanatan Goswami and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You have this Atmanam verse, and even conversation with the Saram Bhattacharya also. This Atmanam verse is there. I will try to cover some of the points from the last years. I promise that I will. What I will do in the future verses, I will try to explain that points also which we missed. I'll see. So as many as possible, we'll try to share some very important discussions. I will, if I complete purports, then I'll get more time to discuss some very important in an elaborate way. You'll also get benefited by me. So that is my intention. So I'm reading so that some very important discussions like uh, this is very important discussions with our relation with family relation. What happens is initially devotees come for bhakti, immediately there is aversion with all this material. Yeah, they are dirty people. Family members, aversion to family members, aversion to this. But slowly we understand, no, this is another side of attachment only. We are attached, but aversion is another side. No, both we have to give up. Attachment also, aversion also. We have to be in between. That is bhakti. Bhakti is synthesis. It is not thesis, antithesis, and synthesis. So here, Sukadeva Goswami, he underwent the study of Bhagavatam. So who then Vyas Maharshi, he goes back to Vyas Maharshi after reading these 2 shlokas, and then Vyas Maharshi again explains everything to Sukadeva Goswami. When Sukadeva Goswami is reciting Bhagavatam, he's in trance, but he very systematically presented. Even somebody in trance, you cannot expect that he will speak properly. But in this case of Sukadeva Goswami, even though he's speaking in trance, he is very scientifically presented Bhagavatam. So according to Brahma Vairta Puran, Srila Sukadeva Goswami was a liberated soul even within the womb of his mother. Sri Vyasdev knew that the child after his birth would not stay at home. Therefore, Vyasdev, impressed upon him the synopsis of Bhagavatam so that the child be made attached to the transcendental activities of the Lord. After his birth, the child was still more educated in the subject of Bhagavatam by recitation of actual poems. The idea is that generally the liberated soul are attached to the teachers of impersonal Brahman with a monistic view of becoming one with the Supreme Whole. But by the association of pure Vyasdev, even the liberated soul becomes attached to the transcendental qualities of the Lord. By the mercy of Sri Narada, Sri Vyasdev was able to narrate the great epic of Srimad Bhagavatam, and by the mercy of Vyasdev, Srila Sukadeva Goswami was able to grasp the import. The transcendental qualities of the Lord are so attractive that Srila Sukadeva Goswami became detached from being completely absorbed in impersonal Brahman and positive. He took up the personal activities of the Lord. I just want to make one advertisement. 8th chapter is very special. So many questions of our doubts about Lord and his relation with devotees, material nature will be very nicely cleared. Please don't miss 8th chapter with very important questions. Maybe I'll post the questions for which you will get answers in the 8th chapter in the group. It will be an advertisement. All these questions which we have many doubts will be very nicely clarified. Please don't miss. Kunti Maharani's prayers are very nice. Of course, I'll take and Prabhuji will also take, so you'll get double benefit. So practically, he was thrown into the impersonal conception of absolute, thinking within himself that he had simply wasted so much time in devoting himself to the impersonal feature of the Supreme. Or, in other words, he realized more transcendental bliss with the personal features than the impersonal. And from that time, not only did he himself become very dear to the Vishnu Jnanas or the devotees of the Lord, but also the Vishnu Jnanas became very dear to him. Devotees of Lord who do not wish to kill the individuality of the living entity and who desire to become personal servitors of the Lord do not very much uh, like the impersonalists. And similarly, the impersonalists who desire to become one with the Supreme are unable to evaluate the devotees. Thus, from time immemorial, these two transcendental pilgrims have sometimes been competitors. In other words, each of them like to keep separation from the other because of the ultimate personal impersonal realization. Therefore, it appears that Srila Sukadeva Goswami also had no liking for the devotees. But since he himself became a saturated devotee, he desired always the transcendental association of Vishnu Janas, and the Vishnu Janas also liked his association. He became a personal Bhagavata. Thus, both the son and the father are completely cognizant of the transcendental knowledge in Brahman, and afterwards both of them became absorbed in the personal feature of the Supreme Lord. The question is how Sukadeva Goswami is attracted to the narrations of Bhagavatam is thus so even though he's Atma Rama, he got attracted. That is the power of Urukrama. Urukrama is the Lord whose activities are very huge. So Vamana becomes Urukrama. Vamana is small, but when he became big, that form of Lord who measured the universe in 2 steps is the Urukrama form. So activities are like that. Now from here onwards, the story starts. So uh, till now, Saunaka Rishis, they are requesting. No, okay, please explain. So what were the questions? Why did Vyas Maharshi wrote at what situations? And why did Parikshit Maharaj Parikshit Maharaj such a good person? Why did he end up like that? And why did Sukadeva Goswami speaking? And here they had another question in between that, okay, Sukadeva Goswami is already self-realized. Why he needed? Yes, because Lord's activities are Urukrama. They're so unlimited. So such people also get attracted to him. So here we see the next important. From here the story starts about Parikshit Maharaj. And in this chapter, Arjuna and glories of Arjuna and Draupadi will hear. And next chapter will be Uttara and Kunti. After that, Bhishma Dev. So one after another, everything is connected to Parikshit. How it is connected? 2 ways. One is it is explained in what lineage Parikshit Maharaj came. What are the devotees are present, and from where he came? What is the product? All these great devotees' product is Parikshit Maharaj. And second is Parikshit Maharaj. That means the qualification of the hearer is such a qualified person. And only when all these family members disappear, then Parikshit Maharaj will rule. So that's why it is explained how one after another they all left and Parikshit entered into the picture. So from birth it is explained of Parikshit Maharaj. So here it starts. Parikshito atah rajarshir janma karma vilapanam tam stham cha pandu putranam vyakshe krishna katodayam. Sutta Goswami thus addressed by the rishis headed by Saunaka. Now, thus addressed the rishis headed by Saunaka. Now I shall begin the transcendental narration of Lord Sri Krishna and the topics of the birth, activities, and deliverance of King Parikshit, the sage amongst king, as well as the topics of the order by the sons of Pandu. Now, at the end of in the beginning and 18th chapter, when he completes the story of almost Parikshit Maharaj story. And then again, Sanakadri says, no, we want to hear what Sukadeva Goswami explained to Parikshit. Now you explain that part. So he just explained, this is how Parikshit Maharaj he got cursed. This is no, you explain us now what Sukadeva Goswami told to Parikshit Maharaj. Then another part starts. That is from the 19th appearance of Sukadeva Goswami and second canto onwards. Till now he is going to tell till 18th the story of Parikshit. And of course, in 19th all the story is there, but in one way it is completes in 18th. So then he explains further details. So here he's telling he's going to explain about Lord Sri Krishna and topics of birth and activities and deliverance of Parikshit Maharaj till 18th. 19th also again he elaborates that way. Lord Krishna is so kind to the fallen souls. He personally incarnates himself among the different kinds of living entities and take part with them in daily activities. Any historical fact, old or new, which have a connection with the activities of the Lord is to be understood as the transcendental narration of the Lord. Without Krishna, all the supplementary literatures like the Puranas and Mahabharata are simply stories of historical facts, but with Krishna they become transcendental, and when we hear of them, we at once become transcendental related with the Lord. Srimad Bhagavatam is also Purana, but the special significance of this Purana is that the activities of the Lord are central and not just supplementary historical fact. Srimad Bhagavatam is thus recommended by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the spotless Purana. There is a class of less intelligent devotees of the Bhagavad Purana who desire to relish at once the activities of the Lord narrated in the 10th canto without first understanding the primary cantos. They are under the false impressions that the other cantos are not connected with Krishna, and thus more foolishly they intelligently they take to the reading of 10th canto, and intelligently they take to the reading of 10th canto. These readers are specifically told herein that the other cantos of Bhagavatam are as important as the 10th canto. No one should try to go into the matter of 10th canto without having thoroughly understood the purports of the other 9 cantos. Krishna and pure devotees like the Pandavas are also on the same plane. Krishna is not without his devotees. All the rasas and the pure devotees like the Pandavas are not without Krishna. Therefore, the devotees of the Lord are, and they cannot be separated. Therefore, talks about them are all Krishna Katha or the topics of the Lord. So here, what is important point is there are so many misconceptions about the absolute truth for all of us, which certainly we all have. We cannot directly say, I understand Krishna. It's not actually so easy. Raghupat Upadhyay, he says two very famous shlokas. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu goes to Banaras, he meets Raghupat Upadhyay, very nice Brahmana. He says, you have compiled something, tell. He says, oh, I do not read Puranas, I do not do all these worships and all these things. I don't worship any of the things. I only worship Nanda Maharaj. Because in his courtyard, the Supreme Absolute Truth is playing. That means he has some special secret. By worshipping him, I'll come to know what made him do the Supreme Absolute Truth in his courtyard. And then, more than this, there is another shloka. He says, Lord Chaitanya was very pleased. He said, yeah, you understood. He said, tell me more. Then Raghupat Upadhyay says, how can I tell? Who will believe me? The absolute truth is hiding in the bushes of in the Vrindavan, in the village, and hunting for the gopis, and especially Srimati Radharani. Whom can I tell this, that absolute truth is doing this, and who will believe me? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu becomes so ecstatic, he embraces him and says, yes. And then Raghupat Upadhyay says, hey, how come you are looking so different? You are the Supreme Lord. So Raghupat Upadhyay gets that relation that is directly talking to Krishna. So now the point is this, so it's not so simple to understand Krishna. We need to go through all cantos, give up our misconceptions of the truth. There is, whether it is there or not. is a scientific level of misconceptions. Then there is samshaya. Then we have nirguna. Then we have purusha without energy. Then we have purusha with energy. Then kliba. Then mithuna. Then there is parakiya. So all these, there are 8 different misconceptions about the absolute truth. So all these things should get cleared. So systematically reading Bhagavatam will help us to overcome this. Also about rasa. So this is also very important. What happens is, if you want to understand Bhagavatam properly according to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we have to understand through Rupa Goswami. People who did not do it, they actually miss the point, and all these apasampradayas that happened. Who did not follow Rupa Goswami, they all end up into apasampradayas. And here also, what happens is they directly jump to 10th canto and they try to imitate Lord Chaitanya is doing. This is actually what is happening here also. What Prabhupada did in Krishna book is he kept all the philosophy, because he knows he may not have time to explain 10th canto. That's why he wrote all the pastimes. He just did not write the pastime. He properly wrote, and many of us, I also read Krishna book and I joined ashram. That is the first book only I read. And without that, because that book has philosophy. The book I read with Krishna book only and joining. But after coming, we have to understand that I have to systematically read again from first Bhagavad Gita. Of course, without reading Bhagavad Gita, you can directly read Bhagavatam. And but we have to systematically try to read and understand. That is very important. We cannot jump. We cannot by jumping we cannot get anything. We end up in nowhere. We have to be very. It's a research. We have to use our intelligence and try to analyze it. And if we go very systematically, our logical sequence also will develop properly. Yes, why this chapter? Why this chapter? Why this chapter? Why this statement? Why this shlokas? Everything logically develops in our system, which will strengthen our buddhi, conviction, and then we will be very clear. Now, when we are hearing Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's Prabhupada purports, we are hearing this very systematically. At the end of first canto, we'll be very clear about all the basic philosophies. And then second, third, fourth, slowly, other concepts also gets very much cleared. So it's a very systematic presentation to help especially awaken our buddhi and make us closer to Krishna. Directly 10th canto will enjoy the past tense, but now this much understanding why Vyasdev have to write this, why Sukadeva Goswami is Atmarama, he is getting attracted, and what is this? So all these things cannot be here. Yeah, our faith and tattva both becomes clear. So we'll take one more shloka, and actually 2 shlokas are there here. यथा मृदे कौरवसञ्जयानां वीर्येषु वीरगतिं गतेषु बृकोदराभिधगधाभिमर्श भग्नोर्दण्डेतराष्ट्रपुत्रे मृतः प्रियं दौर्नि इति स्म पश्यन् कृष्णा सुतानां स्वपतां शरीरांसि उपाहृदः प्रियमेव तस्य जुगुप्सितं कर्म विग्रह्यन्ति. Here the story starts. When the respective warriors of both camps, namely the Kauravas and the Pandavas, were killed on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and the dead warriors obtained their deserved destination, and when the sons of Dhritarashtra fell down, lamenting, his spine broken, being beaten by the club of Bhimasena, the son of Dronacharya, Ashwatthama, headed beheaded the 5 sleeping sons of Draupadi, and delivered the heads as a prize to his master, foolishly thinking that he would be pleased. Duryodhana, however, disapproved of this heinous act, and he was not pleased in the least. So we need to understand about Duryodhana and Ashwatthama also. This is very important. Why they about them is mentioned is also very important, because there are certain tendencies in us which we need to give up. That is the reason these are things. When we see villains, why we become upset? Because that character, some things are there in us. That's why it affects. That is like finding fault with us. Showing a villain to us is telling. So if somebody finds fault with us, we become very upset. I said, how can you tell me I am wrong? So villains are who will make us feel, oh. So transcendental topics of the activities of Lord Sri Krishna in the Srimad Bhagavatam begins from the end of the battlefield of Kurukshetra, where the Lord himself spoke about himself in the Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, both the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam are transcendental topics of Lord Krishna. The Gita is Krishna Katha, topics of Krishna, because it's spoken by the Lord. And Bhagavatam is also Krishna Katha, because it is spoken about the Lord. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted everyone to be informed of both Krishna Kathas by his order. Lord Krishna Chaitanya, Krishna himself in the garb of a devotee of Krishna, and therefore the versions of both Lord Krishna and Lord and Sri are identical. Lord Chaitanya desired that all of who are born in India seriously understand such Krishna Kathas, and then after fully realizing, teach the transcendental message to everyone in all parts of the world. That will bring about desired peace and prosperity of the second world. Many people distribute, but very few people are speaking Bhagavad Gita. That is why we have to take the task of preaching Bhagavad Gita, not just distributing. Distribution somebody will do, but we have to understand we should do distribution also. I'm not telling, but we should also take the job of, if somebody is interested, even one person is interested, we should take effort to help them understand Bhagavad Gita, to help them understand Bhagavatam. That will be very good service, because many people have Bhagavad Gita at their home, but nobody opens. And even if they open, they try to read, they don't understand, they keep it back. But if you take little effort and help them read and understand, it will be very good service. Like when I go to college and ask, how many of you want Bhagavad Gita? Many children say we want to have Bhagavad Gita. But what happens is they don't get that taste for, they don't get anybody who are teaching Bhagavad Gita for them. First thing is they don't have that much clear understanding, and then there are nobody to tell. We have to make little effort and understand and try to help. Even one person, like my friend, he is from US. He alone comes. I sit with him and explain. At least he's interested to hear. So I feel no problem. I teach. So the very important is that even one person is interested and he's getting benefited. We should extend more and more. We should try to speak Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita for more and more people. And more important is who are regularly want to hear every day, they are the most important people because they are very serious about it. Not many people are seriously committed in hearing. Number is very low. Weekly people are okay, but daily means they are really very serious people. Daily they want to hear Bhagavatam means they really are seriously interested to understand, and systematically understand is very important. Logical sequence is very important. That will stick to our system and will help us overcome many of our misunderstandings, and it will strengthen our faith. So any questions, comments? We'll end on time today. Yes, Monica.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, but the devotees like neophyte devotees like me, we cannot preach now. First, our priority should be the to read and to understand it fully. Na?
your understanding will increase when you start explaining to others. By what happens, they will ask questions, then you will start thinking what is the answer for it. Like I went, I was having a table at temple and visitors are coming. I sat. I thought I will register for then I make them sit. Instead of my telling, I'll ask them, what do you think is purpose of life and all. So they come and give such explanations. We don't have any answer for them. So that makes me little, I was very humbled. Uh,
Yes, but
I was very
when we
humbled.
don't have answers, then they lose their faith now.
No.
So it will be
We
harmful.
if don't have answers now, we will tell, I'll find out and tell. They'll not lose faith. You can take their number and call and explain what is this. They don't have now. If you ask some question, I don't have answer. I'll say, okay, Mataji, I'll find out and tell. What will happen? Nothing will happen. You'll say, okay, Prabhu, you can tell me tomorrow. You will lose faith. You'll not lose faith. You'll know, okay, Prabhu, you don't know. You'll ask and tell. So the answer is there, system is there, process is there, everything is right. I may not know, I'll explain. But what happens is now, because I don't know, first, answer, what will happen? It will make me, force me to read or hear or approach a senior devotee and understand the concept more clearly. Who benefited more? I benefited. Now you ask some questions. If I don't know, I have to go and read again and understand. So
Yeah,
that
right.
is very important. It will help us to understand. That means you will know that what all things we don't know, first of all. I don't know answer for this, I don't know answer for this. And then we will be forced to, how can I convince this point? If somebody is arguing, yeah, for me, if somebody comes and tells you, see, we should love our work and we should love whatever we are doing and do whatever you are liking. That is the perfection of life. Now, what answer you will give them? So now you have to think. If they are saying, see, I love my work and I work, whatever I am working, I am loving them. And whatever things I love, I do that only. So in that way, I am completely satisfied. So I don't need any of these things. Now you have to give an answer for them. This will help you to think or ask, what answer should I give to these people? To make them understand that you need Bhagavad Gita, what you are doing is wrong. How will you tell them? So I'm completely happy. This is what I want to do, and this I love also. I need Bhagavad Gita. That is why we need answers.
Right. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you all very much. Please don't miss 8th chapter. Of course, 7th also some nice. This two about Akshwathama and Duryodhana. Maybe tomorrow we'll meet on Monday. I will explain. Very nice points are there. Thank you very much, Harish.